I went to Tokyo Rainbow Pride held at Yoyogi Park. This year was the first Pride with returning tourists from overseas since the pandemic started, and the number of attendees was much larger than last year. In Japan, there has been an increase in media coverage of LGBTQ+ people and same-sex marriage lately, so people now have more opportunities to see such information. As a result, there has been an increase in hateful comments on social media due to a lack of understanding. Especially in Japan, traditional family systems are highly valued, and many people consider same-sex marriage to be incompatible with Japanese societal values. In these interviews, I wanted to hear the voices of sectional minorities and allies living in Japan, as well as those of people who are visiting. I was able to hear their perspectives on how they see Japan.
Was there anything that surprised you about Pride in Japan in particular?
Yeah, I'm actually very surprised because when you go to German Pride, it's super crowded, people are very drunk, and here it's quiet and also a lot of people, which is great because it means it attracts people and it looks like it's very fun and it's fun to be around. So yeah, I'm very positively surprised.
Oh, good. Okay.
Well, honestly, I didn't really even expect Tokyo to have a Pride, you know? So when he asked me hey, let's go to Tokyo Pride, I was like, is that a thing? I didn't think that it would be even an event. So even this gathering of people, it's an amazing experience to see, everybody is here in support of just equality, and it's beautiful to see.
I was a little surprised just that the main sponsors were kind of all American companies instead of saying as many Japanese companies.
I don't know. There's more sponsors here, so they're kind of spread out maybe.
I still feel American.
Yeah, it is still primarily American and foreign companies driving.
Is this your first time to visit Japan? You've been
No,
here
it's
before?
my fourth time.
Fourth time? Okay. What was the impression you had of Japan before you'd come here in terms of how accepting it is for LGBT people?
Yeah, I grew up on Sailor Moon, which had the first canon lesbian couple in history. So it was it's very interesting that at one hand, Japan has a pop culture that is very queer, and at the other hand, you can't walk around holding hands or kissing. But you can't do that if you're different sexes either. So I think it's just a different culture to mine, and I knew that beforehand, so I was not surprised or anything. For me, it's okay because I've been prepared. But I think it's interesting that pop culture is so different to their boys love genre to what actually happens on the street.
Right.
So when I came to Japan, I wasn't really expecting any acceptance, honestly. I kind of thought that it was going to be a don't ask, don't tell situation. I was kind of surprised, I found Kento. It was kind of amazing. Kind of like a dream come true scenario, if I'm being honest, you know what I mean? But I think the people of Japan are very accepting. It's more of a push for equal rights, I don't think that anybody is no, I don't want them to get married. I just think that everyone's kind of it's not my personal issue, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I think if more people could be personally involved in the situation, that would be better, obviously.
最近の日本の変化についてお聞きしたくって、特にここ1年前回のプライドから今回のプライドの1年にかけて何か日本の社会の中で LGBTQ+ の人々を取り巻く環境で何か変化があったと思いますか？
結構やはり当事者の方たちが割とカミングアウトしやすい部分も出てきたのかなっていうのは思うんですね。若い世代の子たちなんかは、そのジェンダーレスだったり、男の子がお化粧してみたりすることも全然普通のこととしてみんな受け入れ始めて、そういうちょっとした変化は結構身近で感じることもあるんですけど、逆にそういうものが見えてきたからこそ、それに嫌悪感を持つ人たちのバッシングっていうのかな。そういうものも強く主張されてるのが声として大きく上がってるのが見る機会も増えたかなっていう。
なるほど。
いい面と悪い面、そういうふうに見えてきてるところと、それに対してやっぱり強く拒否反応を示す人の声が取り上げられやすくなってきて、顕在化するとね、反対する意見もまた目立つ。
I feel at the younger generation it gets the more people are more free about sexuality and I really like seeing that.
I think that the conversation has continued in the last year in a lot of ways that make me feel really motivated, and also in a lot of ways that make me feel demotivated. But in terms of like the actual situation and support that we're getting, like as people living in this country, there haven't been huge developments. I think I'm still kind of waiting for maybe the government to follow up on the discussions that have started.
結構ニュースで見るようになったなっていう、取り上げられるようになったなっていうのを感じていて、この間それ最近ですけど、東大の男子トイレに生理用品が置かれるようになったっていうのを聞いて、なんかすごいそうやって分かってくれる人が増えたんだっていう気持ちをなんかニュースで見れるって、これただ LINE ニュースだったんですけど、これがこう日本でも出てくるようになったんだっていうのを見た時はすごい嬉しかったです。
当事者じゃなくてもサポートしますよっていう姿勢を表している人たちがすごい増えたなっていうのを感じてて、今Spotifyでポッドキャストの仕事をしてるんですけど、やっぱりその当事者の人もサポートしますよっていう人も番組を始める本数っていうのがすごい増えてますし、ノットストレートっていうクリアの当事者の女性2人がやってる番組もあるんですけど、そこの輪も広がっていってる感じがして、すごい社会全体でエンパワリングする方向に動いていってるなと思います。
そうですね、まあなんか最近それこそ岸田総理の側近とかのあれでニュースになってましたけど、なんかそういったことでしかやっぱ今 LGBTQ の人がなんていうかニュースに取り上げられないっていうのはなんか難しいなとは思うんですけど、まあなんかいい意味でも悪い意味でも結構メディアに取り上げられる回数が増えてるのかなっていうのは肌感的には感じてます。
Yeah, I definitely think it has changed for the better, but not for the best. It definitely has taken lots of good things, but also I think the world as it is maybe turns a bit backwards. There have been lots more of attacks and stuff. So we're still like we're progressing, but we're not in like paradise where we can live happily. Yeah.
From my perspective, I think it's getting better than like each year. It's getting better each year, but still, they still saying some stuff. Probably, I'm not gonna say like bad stuff, but like I still feel like they're trying to understand more and more, but I feel like they could be better yet. Yeah. I think it was like beginning of this year. I saw a news that the government was trying to legalize the gay marriage, but then it's still not happening. I saw one of my friends went to the national diet to actually see or discuss about the topic, but then I heard that it was still not happening, and yeah, I hope that it will happen soon. Still a long way to go, I guess.
I think probably the ruling to do with marriage equality, there's been lots of different ones in different parts of Japan. Not all of them had very positive results, but some of them, having heard like the explanation of the results from the people involved in the lawsuit and people involved in the court, like the lawyers, I guess I can see that opinions, I think, are on our side. General public's opinions, it feels like people are supporting us. It's just a matter of whether or not this will be changed into like legislative updates, legislative matters, right? Is probably the way that I feel.
今日本の政府が LGBTQ の人たちをこう十分にサポートしていると思いますか？
思わない。それは思わない。
思わないですか？どういうところを主にサポートしてないっていうふうに感じられますか、普段？
なんかやっぱりLGBTQ プラスの人たちを見ないようにしているっていうのをなんか結構強く感じることが多くて、
されてないっていうふうに思うっていうよりは。されてるって感触を受けないから今質問された時にそう思った。
ああ、なるほど。何かしているっていうのが見えてこないっていう感じですかね。なるほど、なるほど。
I'm not really too educated on the matter of the Japanese government, but frankly, I'd have to say no. In terms of equality, I think they have a long way to go. So, I mean, but that's why we're all here. So, keep the march forward?
No, I don't think that they're doing enough to support Japanese LGBTQI plus people because they don't have marriage equality, and I don't think that the rights for adopting children is good enough. I think healthcare is also a problem, and so I think they still have a long way to go in accepting like same-sex marriages.
Overall, they can definitely do better.
Yeah.
They can definitely do better. But I can see movement starting, and I want to feel I feel hopeful about what's happening right now.
してないと思う。
政府の中でもそうやって理解のない人たちがいっぱいいて、名前忘れちゃったんですけど、そのなんだろう LGBTQI とかの人たちがいるところには行きたくないとか、こう近づきたくないとかっていう考えを持ってる人が日本をこうなんだろうランしてるマネージしてるって思うと悲しいなというか、こう自分も日本人として愛したい国なのにそういうことがあるからこうフルで愛せない気持ちがあるので、そこを早くなくしたいな。
Do you think same-sex marriage should be legalized in Japan?
Yes, I think same-sex marriage should be legalized everywhere. I think it is mostly from like a very, obviously as a member of the community, I think that everybody should be treated equally as non-same-sex couples are. But for me personally, I feel like for me and my long-term boyfriend, we don't have the same safety net that maybe a couple who are not same-sex would have. And it feels a little bit frightening to think about what might happen if, for example, one of us had to go to the hospital suddenly, or whether or not we'd be able to get the protections that I would want to get in that kind of situation. At the same time, though, I am actually kind of on the side of maybe dismantling the marriage system in general. You know, I don't think that we should have to fit into this kind of like legally controlled system necessarily. So that might be something that's further away on the horizon. Either way, we should all be treated the same. We're all the same human beings.
さった方が幸せになる人は多い。
なるほど。自分が結婚する相手がいた場合、それは自分だったら結婚したいと思います。そういう制度があったら。
僕は今のところは考えてないです。
必要な人にとってはあった方がいいんじゃないかっていう。
選択肢が多分なる。
なるほどですね。
やっぱり今の制度のままだと本当に同性パートナーさんたちって税金の面であったりとかその家族としての安定性であったりとかそういうところで守られてない部分がすごく多いので、ちゃんとやっぱりこの同じ異性婚と同じ同性婚っていうのを制度として作って平等にやっぱり人権っていうのを認めていかないといけないっていうふうに思います。
特になんかそのどういう理由でというか好きな人は好きな人でしょっていう当たり前でしょっていう感じなので普通になんか性別の感覚を意識する必要あるっていう感覚でいるのでみんな一緒でしょっていう意味で絶対すぐに同性婚を OK にした方がいいので
愛っていう感情自体が守られるべきだなと思っていてそこに例えば性別だとかジェンダーアイデンティティとかのフィルタリングをかけられること自体が間違ってる。
If you had one message that you could give to people, maybe straight people who are they're not familiar with LGBTQ plus people, they don't have any queer people in their lives, what's one sort of message that you might want to say to them?
Listen to Toki Homo podcast. Have conversations with people, even if you don't know where to start that conversation. Like, message me on Instagram. I don't know. Like, ask questions that you want answers to, and try and get perspectives from as many people as you can. Hopefully, you'll understand why we care so much about things like marriage equality. Would be my message.
I would just say that LGBT people are people. Don't think too hard about it.
Right. It's not that deep. Yeah.
In a day-to-day, everyone kind of is hidden or keeps themselves low-key, but there's actually a much bigger spectrum than what it first seems. And this might be one of the few times where everyone actually gets out, but everyone's still here.
It's very easy to educate yourself. So if you have any questions, you can just go online. I think it's very great that Tokyo Rainbow Pride has a mainly English homepage. You can read up a lot of things, and also don't hold on to cliches because things will surprise you. And I think that's great.
ほら、すぐ隣にいる人がそうかもしれないって自分とは違った性的思考を持っているのかもしれないっていうことをなんかもっと想像できる人が増えるといいよね。
やっぱりそう考えるとなんかお互いに ちょっと怖がってるというか恐怖感があるだけで、本当はちゃんと話し合えれば恐怖感がなくなるのかなと思ってるので、なんかもっと話し合えるような関係を作っていきたいなと思います。
I have like some straight friends, and they're already so generous and they're so open about it. They just same human being. I feel like, but like I could also see like in the straight culture community, they try to be like masculine or feminine, just be gay.
Just be gay.
Yeah, just be
yourself.
Yeah.
日本だとまだちょっと受け入れがしづらいっていうのか、理解されにくいっていう環境にはあると思うんですけど、なんか別に人としては変わらないですし、ただ違うのは同性が好きというか、なんかそこしか変わらなくて、なんか自分であることは変わりないので、なんかそこは別に、なんていうんですかね、差別することもないのかなっては思います。なんかそういう受け入れる環境がもっとあればいいなっていうのは、当事者としての本音かなっていうのは思います。
Just because you don't experience something doesn't mean it's not real. So having that basic empathy for people that just want to love who they want to love is so important. Love is love.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to everyone who participated in interviews. Unfortunately, I was not able to showcase all of them in this video, but I appreciate all the positive feedback I received. Although Japanese society is gradually changing, there's still a long way to go in terms of people's understanding and societal systems catching up to properly protect the human rights of sexual minorities. For those who are foreign residents in Japan or planning to visit in the future, what are your impressions of LGBTQ+ rights in Japan? Please let us know in the comment section. I hope that this video can serve as a starting point for those who were previously unaware of the situation surrounding LGBTQ+ individuals in Japan. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.